Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's up, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the SHW podcast. This is our wrestling. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield alongside the great Gerard Bonner and the lovely Diana Michelle. And before we really get into the show this week, guys, let's just check in with everybody. How's everybody doing since last we spoke? Everybody good?
Another week down. That's all. That's it. Another week down.
Something tells me we're all better than everybody who's probably stuck in traffic right now in an attempt to go to this Janet Jackson and Taylor Swift situation happening here in Atlanta.
And the Hawks up there too. I mean, when's the Hawks playing?
So the Hawks game was yesterday, and because the Hawks game was yesterday, the Janet Jackson concert was supposed to be yesterday, but then it got rescheduled to today. Right. So, and then of course Taylor Swift is today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Talk about double booking.
Really? I had no idea she was doing a weekend thing.
Yeah, so she's there all 3 nights. So, you know, Taylor's got a 3-night revival. It's just pretty amazing, actually. So needless to say, I think we're okay being here where we are. And if you guys are stuck in traffic heading to one of those 2 places, this is a good way to pass the time.
Absolutely. And you know what? Shame on State Farm Arena for not having faith in the Hawks that they would go this far in the playoffs.
Right. That's the real issue.
Oh, the Hawks won't be in the playoffs at that point. We could just book a show.
That's the real issue.
Come on, man. Have some faith in your basketball team.
Oh, man. Hilarious.
But, I was actually at a Gwinnett Arena this past weekend. I don't know. What is it called now? Gas South Arena. I've always called it Gwinnett Arena. I feel like it changes names every few years. But so I've never done this before, but I went to Disney on Ice. I took my little niece and my sister, and it was my sister's birthday technically, so it was kind of for her birthday, but I feel like it was more for my niece who had just an absolute blast. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever been to something like that. I don't keep up with figure skating like in the Olympics and stuff like that, but I will say, you know, I see clips of it and it takes a ton of skill, and these people are super talented. But this show was like over 2 hours long, and there's so many people, so many moving parts, and nobody fell once. There was no mess ups. I was thinking to myself throughout the show, I was telling my sister, I was like, certainly in the course of them putting these shows on, there has to have been a time or a day where like something went wrong. We just, you know, we were at a show where like everything went right. It was great, and props to them. But I'm like, there's just so many things. Because when you see figure skating, it's like either one person or 2 people. This is like a whole cast of people. Yeah. And there's, you know, songs and dancing and all this.
Big dance on blades.
It's crazy. Yeah. And so I know they've done stuff. I want to say maybe Lion King, maybe Aladdin has done like just a show just for that from that movie. So this was Disney on Ice. This was like little chunks of different movies. Yeah. And I don't know, like 10 minutes of Little Mermaid and then 10 minutes of I can't think of all the names of the different movies. Frozen was the big one, obviously. It was so funny you mentioned Taylor Swift. Well, and Janet Jackson too, but I imagine all the women and the girls singing to the top of their lungs to their songs at this concert. But when Frozen hit, you can imagine how many little kids were in that crowd, right? And it sounded like the whole arena was just singing along with the Frozen songs, which that's one. Well, that's one I haven't seen. So like I knew Little Mermaid. I knew well, see, I don't have any little kids to watch movies, you know, that I would have seen Frozen. But in the 90s, when I was growing up, I've seen like the 90s Disney movies. So, you know, there's like Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and there was a few from my generation, and then a few of the newer ones that were it was funny because that's when all of like the kids would sing. Like the parents were singing for the other ones. Yeah. And then the kids were singing for the new movies. But I just was impressed. It's something I never like expected to go to a ice skating show, but
I guess it sounds like first-time wrestling fans who come to shows and they're just like, holy cow, how did they do that? And oh my gosh, you know, so I get it.
So just tip of the cap to the Disney on Ice crew, because they impressed me. I was rather impressed, and it was so fun watching my little niece. So my niece is one of these who's her older brother's a couple years older, and he's very expressive. You can always tell whether he's happy or angry or laughing or sad or whatever. She's very much stone faced. And my sister was telling me, and I've been to stuff with her before, so I kind of knew this, but my sister says, look, even though she looks just like she's very serious, I guarantee you she's having a blast. And the way we knew she was having a blast is because she would look stone faced, but if she started doing this, she's just rocking back and forth. That's when you know she really likes the song and she's really into it. So there were several times where I look over and she's just over there with the stone face. I'm like, "Are you having fun?" And she'd look at me and go, just kind of nod her head. And like, okay.
That's awesome.
But anyways, her name's Emma. She was cracking me up. But
happy birthday to your sister.
Yes.
It looked fun.
It was fun. I was just, I was kind of surprised. Now it got me all, I got the itch now because I'm like, now I want to go to another big event because the last couple of times I've been to that arena, we were there for AEW Dynamite. And I know, let's see, Raw's coming. Is it June or July when Raw's coming?
July.
July.
I spoke to our friend Tony today.
Okay.
And AEW would be back at the Gwinnett in August.
Okay.
23rd, I think. That's what he said.
Very cool. Well, I got the itch now that I was at a big live event. I'm like, okay, when's the next big wrestling event coming to town? I knew Raw was going to be here in the summer.
We need to get together and all three hit one. I mean,
well, we should do the Impact one that's coming in June.
Oh, that'd be cool.
They're doing TV tapings in June here.
So here's what happened. The last two Dynamites that were here, GB and I went to one, but Diana couldn't make it. And then Diana, you and I and our buddy Kyle went to one, and GB couldn't make it. So we got to get one where all three of us
did the show. So we got to get where we can all. We've only done it once.
I know,
which is crazy.
That was the road trip. That was in Jacksonville, right?
That was.
Yeah, all the way down in Florida just to get together.
Yeah.
Know, right?
Nuts.
Well,
absolutely.
We'll make it happen. But hey, speaking of Raw coming to town, well, this past week on Raw, or this past Monday, this week, they introduced a new title, right? The new World Championship. It got me thinking. I was like, well, hey, we just introduced a new title, the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. I'm like, obviously they're watching us. They're like, you know what? We got to one-up SHW here. Let's come up with our own title. But anyways, it got me thinking about this.
We got to keep up with SHW.
Yeah, exactly. Keep up. What was it? One time we had it was shortly thereafter when Joe Black and Huckabee had the dog collar match. And then the next thing you know, was it Dynamite?
Yeah.
And somebody got put through a windshield, and I remember thinking, like, hey.
And then they had a dog collar match too.
Yeah. And then I think
yeah.
NXT put somebody through a windshield. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And then David Ali was the savior, and then suddenly Seth Rollins became the savior.
Telling you,
we tend to be the blueprint.
The Messiah.
Yeah, the Messiah. So
they got their finger on the pulse of SHW.
We do. I love it.
Well, it got me thinking about this legacy title. Now, I know we mentioned it last week because we did the recap last week of SHW 49. And of course, it was announced there. Jake the Snake was announcing this new legacy championship, a beautiful title belt.
Beautiful.
And of course, yesterday we saw the announcement, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But of course, he mentioned a new big title match coming up for the SHW title. But he also talked about the legacy championship and how there's going to be some qualifier matches over the next couple of months. I guess kind of leading to like a tournament of sorts to announce this new legacy champion. So I'm excited to see who, what these qualifier matches are going to be. But, it got me thinking about this, and I don't know. I know it's Jake's legacy. It's Jake's legacy title, but it got me thinking about the SHW legacy. So I'm thinking of folks that have been there since day one, right? So like, I would love to see an AC Mack in this tournament or in a qualifier match. Somebody like, an Ashton Starr, perhaps. I know Owen would be awesome. Owen's already in a tag title match for the next show. So he'll be focused on that. And the same with Joe Black. I would love to see him in this tournament at some point. Now we do know the hierarchy has been announced that there'll be an tag team action at SHW 50. So he'll be focused there, which by the way, can I just say, their opponents have not been announced, but whoever their opponents are, I feel so bad for them because coming off of what happened at the last show, they are not going to be in a good mood. And I'm talking about Murder One and Joe Black. They're going to be in a foul mood. And I don't know who their opponents are going to be, but
what if Jake just feeds the beast?
He might. I don't know. Oh, you know what?
With the youthful ones.
That's what I was just thinking. That's what I was just thinking.
Since they've got so much crap they're going to say and fuss and whine about, and they're talking junk about Jake. Why not give them the hierarchy?
I was so excited when they got fed to Cyrus. I have to get fed to the hierarchy. Oh, that'd be awesome. Anyways, I'm not biased or anything.
We're not a matchmaker over here. You know, throwing it out there, Jake.
Unbiased journalism right here, folks.
I'm not.
Anyways, how are you guys feeling about this legacy title? This is something else. This is gonna be something pretty cool.
It's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see how that unfolds. Honestly, I'm with you though. I want to see some of the old school guys come in and actually participate and do well in this tournament. We know Carly has thrown his hat in the ring for this one, and he's pretty much dared anybody else to even look at that title. But I mean, I'm with you. I think AC and Ashton, and what if we were to bring back, I don't know, where's Cam Carter? I keep throwing that out. Where's he? That would be cool. Kevin Ryan, SHW's first champion. I mean, Cruel's running around doing some stuff. Is he coming back? I mean, is he going to be in for that one? I don't know, but there's a lot of possibilities that could happen here. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, we got the new guys too that obviously will probably be in the middle of all that. But I want to see some of the SHW vets come back and really shake this one up.
Interesting. When I hear the name of that title, the Jake the Snake Legacy title, kind of puts me in the mindset of who are wrestlers who have the kind of qualities that Jake the Snake had.
Let's name some qualities.
So, for instance, we talk about someone who doesn't need to per se scream to get their point across. They are very calculating. They are intimidating in the way they present things. They're very smooth and fluid. They're also innovative. I mean, think about the fact that Jake the Snake gave us a move we had never seen before, and to this day it is still a move used in wrestling, that being the DDT. So a person who has those kinds of qualities, I think, would be folks who might qualify for an opportunity at this type of championship, which is where you throw a Carly Bravo into this. Someone who has extreme charisma, someone who is very fluid in the ring. His moveset has been innovative. He's introduced some new things to us. Joe Black comes to mind when I think about, we call him the promo king, and his psychology and the way he operates, so he comes to mind. And even when you look at some people who might be a bit more flashy than Jake was, but they're still pretty cerebral, like a Hunter James, for instance, who is a new addition to SHW, but already has kind of shown us like he's got the goods. You know what I mean? Even a Jaden Newman, who, Mr. SCI for 2022, is somebody who has come in and impressed us very quickly by, again, having strategy. Kyle Matthews, is somebody who obviously has great technical ability, very smooth, soft-spoken, but yet he still gets his point across in a mighty way. So in my head, I'm not necessarily thinking about SHW originals, but maybe people who might reflect more the qualities that we've seen in Jake the Snake, which, I mean, if you pattern yourself after Jake the Snake in this business, you'll go far. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know what criteria Jake the Snake, being the matchmaker, is using to pick people to be a part of it. But I'll say this: I like the fact that we have another championship in SHW for people to compete for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just thinking, I would say that over the years, Jake the Snake was a bit of a bad boy. And
You think?
That's
so
probably an understatement.
I was gonna say, Diana, I
I
think
wouldn't say bad boy. No. I would say straight up villain. There's a difference.
I'm getting to something, Diana. Hang on.
I'm sorry. You just
I was gonna say
I saw where you were going.
SHW has our very own bad boy.
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe Chip Day. That's where I was going.
That's a possibility.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You go up and down the card in SHW, and that's what's so great about Southern Honor is the roster is so stacked. That's why we say every month that how does the card get better and better? Because the roster is just so amazing. The talent, you know, such a deep talent pool, and anybody could be in this tournament. Anybody could be in one of these qualifier matches.
And to that point, I also wonder if this becomes another carrot to attract people to SHW. A new champ. I mean, think about it. For all of the indie promotions that are out there, certainly in the Southeast, not one of them has a championship that bears the name of a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
We once again become the first. So if you're rolling around in Southeast or independent wrestling anywhere, the opportunity to be the inaugural Jake the Snake Roberts Legacy Champion, that's extremely attractive. And I think people will come beating down the doors. So it's possible that we may not even know some of the faces that are interested in becoming a part of this particular tournament, qualifying matches, however this happens for this championship.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned Jaden Newman a few minutes ago and touched on him being Mr. SCI, the SCI tournament up there in Tennessee, the Scenic City Invitational. Well, you know, just prior to the pandemic, just prior to the lockdown, where the whole world stopped for a few months, we were going to have our own SCI, the Southern Cup Invitational. And I got so excited about that because the idea of all these different folks coming from different places just to be in this big tournament and in the Southeast biggest promotion, that being Southern Honor, was going to be huge. And of course, everything got put on hold for that. And who knows, we may still see that happen sometime down the line. I do not know. But with this new tournament being put into motion for the Legacy Championship, to your point, GB, yeah, who knows? We could see some outside faces come in. And it's really, again, up to Jake the Snake, our new matchmaker. So really depends on kind of what he thinks and who he decides, who he deems worthy of being in this tournament. So I just can't wait to see how it all unfolds. And I know we'll have some qualifier matches coming up at SHW 50. And then again, and I don't know how many months it might take. So we may have qualifier matches throughout the next few months. Who knows? Yeah. But all I do know is it's going to be good. And I can't wait. And as you mentioned, Diana, Carly Bravo has already staked his claim. He says that he's the one. So who knows? Who knows what happens there? But man, it's going to be good. So I touched on one of the other title matches that got announced this week. Of course, we had already heard about the tag team title match. It's going to be Happy Madness taking on the newly formed tag team of Owen Knight and Nagicism, who won their first match last month, or at the last show, rather. Well, now we have the SHW Championship on the line at SHW 50. And the way this came about, let me just say, so it's going to be Gunner and Judas. Now, Gunner actually, and I don't know how often this happens where the champion approaches the matchmaker and kind of almost like demands a match. So after the events that unfolded at the last show, Gunner went to Jake the Snake and said, hey, I want to get my hands on Judas. I want him in a match. Make it happen. I'll even put my title on the line if that'll make your decision easier. And so there you go. They put the title on the line. It's going to be Judas and Gunner and SHW 50, our huge milestone event. I mean, this is going to be huge, guys.
So what do you think about Corey, though?
Yeah.
Do you think
good question.
He's going to be anywhere? I mean, he was attacked, right? He was attacked, bloodied, whatever that thing was, a middle stake through the head, wherever he got him. I couldn't tell.
I don't know if he got him in the eye or the head. I don't know. But when he got Cyrus in the eye, Cyrus was out for a long time.
For a while.
So
I don't
yeah,
know, but I don't think Corey's finished with his story to take that line, but I don't know. This is there's a lot going on in this threesome here. This Gunner, Judas, Corey, whatever is going on. For Judas to have this title match because Gunner requested it or demanded it, that says a lot about Gunner. He's fed up. He's fed up with being, the one that everybody's gunning for.
Yeah.
When without any reason. What's your reason? Because you want to be friends again with Corey? Or, I mean, what is Judas' purpose? What does he want? Honestly, do we know? I have no idea.
Well, he picked up that title belt in the ring and he dropped it right. So he looked at it, picked it up,
but
and
but he's never said anything else about him. Like he's never said or shown any kind of interest in being the champion, as far as I can tell. To me, it looked like he was just taunting Gunner.
Yeah.
And he could have been holding up because, you know what? I'm gonna get this for my boy Corey. That's what his whole thing was before he attacked Corey. I mean, what is the deal? I need to know. That's a lot going on.
Do you want to ask him?
No, I'm not gonna ask him. That's what
because I'm not. I'll tell you that now.
I'll ask him. I don't know if he'll answer me, but I'll ask him to run and then wait for him to yell.
Listen, the times that he has spoken to me have frightened me every single time. And so, one thing I will say regularly, Diana, you have waved the flag about the focus of Gunnar Miller and the emotional nature of Gunnar Miller and how easy he can be distracted. I'm just sitting here thinking that, obviously the plans are, it's the 50th show. SHW 50 is going to be very significant for obvious reasons. It's SHW 50. This is not the time to make hot-headed decisions. This is not the time. I understand, I guess he still has some feelings about Corey in terms of respect or what have you. Maybe he's upset because of what because of what Judas did to Corey and felt like that was over the top and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Be that what it is, you gotta make, he could regret this.
Oh,
he
yeah.
could come to really, because if I'm upset with somebody, fine, okay, let's get in the ring, let's have a match. But do I need to put on the line the thing that I have worked my whole career to get? Like, really? That's not smart. That's emotional. And I'm concerned that Gunnar may be allowing his emotions to lead him. And if he's allowing his emotions to lead him against someone who seemingly is emotionless,
right?
This may not end well for Gunnar Miller. It may not. I'm just concerned about this. I was concerned about the match with Corey, but he had no control over that because the matchmaker made that. And my concern was that Corey would do anything to win the match. But apparently he'd do anything, but I won't do that. And that for him was team with Judas. So
or use the spike.
Use the spike, which ultimately cost Corey. But Gunnar asking for this match and putting the title on the line, I hope that he will think this through. Obviously, they're not going to be able to rescind this. So I hope he's got a plan.
Yeah.
I hope he's got a plan, or else it could be a dangerous night.
And not just because it's Judas and the way Judas is so ruthless, but you still can't really trust Corey and Judas together. I mean, what if this is just a whole big ploy? Corey took one for the team so that we can fool him into thinking that I'm really not with him, or he's not with me anymore. He's turned on me just to bite Gunnar in the butt again. There's just a whole lot of questions that have not been answered, have not been had not had time to be answered. I don't even know if the questions have been asked because it's
agree.
been so, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We say it every month.
Never
We've got
know.
more questions than we do answers.
Mhm.
And yeah, we'll see. SHW 50 though, it's May 12th coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's going to be awesome. Now we've got, of course, we'll be back here on this show prior to May 12th getting here, but I already feel like, I want to pump it up. I want this to be huge. I know it's going to be huge. And I mentioned, I think I might have mentioned it last week. Now, the May show of 2019 was SHW 1000. We packed just over 1,000 people in that action building, and we're going to have a new roof. It's going to be all nice and pretty in there.
Yay.
So I know they're working on that right now, or they have. I think that's why we kind of got pushed back an extra week was for some of the renovations and stuff that are taking place. But I just, spread the word, invite all your friends, invite friends. If you have friends that have been on the fence and have never been, trust me, they're going to want to be here for SHW 50. It's a huge milestone event. If you got friends that have been before and haven't been back in a while, what are they thinking? Get them to the show, get them to the action building. It's one thing to watch us on IWTV, and we appreciate that. Of course, we want you to go back and watch us so you can hear our beautiful voices. But
Yes.
it's a whole nother thing to be there live and see it in person. So, and we just want to pack the place out. We want the roof to blow off the newly renovated roof. We want to blow it right off the action building. So y'all, I'm telling you, just invite your family, invite your friends, spread the word, share the social media. It's going to be awesome. So I can't wait. I know y'all can't wait. And yeah, this was a bit short and sweet this week, but we got a lot to look forward to. There's going to be a lot more stuff announced for May 12th for SHW 50 in the next couple of weeks. And so stay tuned for that. And we'll be talking about all of it, I'm sure, right back here next week on the SHW podcast. But anything else for the lovely SHW faithful before we let them go here, folks?
Anyone want to train with Diana?
Oh, Diana, are you training? Are you teaching classes?
We probably shouldn't offer that because they're going to line up for that.
You know how many people would sign up?
I already know. I just lobbed a bad one. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, there's not a gym who has open classes for me to teach. So sorry. But
dodge that bullet.
Yeah, right. I was
Woo!
just trying to bring more business in,
By the way, I'm telling you, if you follow Diana on social media,
she's killing it.
Those guns.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to
guns, man. Like, sheesh.
Telling you.
Look, I don't want to beat nobody up. I just want to look like I can.
Just in case. It's just in
in
case.
case.
Because you never know. You never know.
You're
Because
right.
hey, who knows if Brooklyn might show back up, or you never know. We still have one remaining piece of dishonor left, and that's the tag team champs, Sunny Days and Sauronaro, Happy Madness. So, somebody, I think Diana, maybe you mentioned Cruel a little earlier. I don't know what the latest is with him. I mean, I saw where it looks like he's cleared, and like you said, he showed up at some other places. So, I don't know. Could be a matter of time. I don't know if there's any history there between.
His name is like Beetlejuice. Like, don't keep saying it.
We should be careful.
He's gonna appear.
Yeah, it's only been said twice. I've all said it once, and he said it. So,
GB, as long as you don't say it, I think we're in the clear.
I won't. I will not.
But I don't know if there's any weird bad blood between him and Jake the Snake or anything like that. You know who I was thinking about last week? I had the Danny Jordan T-shirt on, and I was thinking there's some bad blood between Danny and Jake from when Jake was at SHW prior. Danny and David Ali got into it with Jake the Snake on a couple of occasions, and from what I've seen on the socials, Danny looks like she's I don't know how far away from the comeback, but I feel like she's getting close. I feel like the training is in process. The comeback is I don't know if it's imminent.
She looks great. I think physically she's there.
I don't remember exactly what she said. I don't know exactly what she said, but I remember she did have some sort of comment about when she found out Jake was the new matchmaker here. So who knows? Who knows? I'm trying to think. Was the last time we saw her? Was that the anniversary, or have we seen her since?
It was.
So that was last
October.
October.
Surprise appearance.
last October. My goodness. So
Yeah.
Is that
who knows?
what was that when she eliminated Jazzy?
Well, so that was Rumblejack. And then
Right.
I think she did show up at the anniversary a couple months later as well, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she made a guest appearance there just very randomly.
That's right. That's right. So
It's
who
all running
knows?
together. It's like,
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, in your downtime, folks, go back on IWTV and you can watch all the shows and get it all squared away. Because, see, folks like us, when we live it, that was all runs together in my head. I got to go back and sort it
it's
out.
like a
And
soap opera.
when we took the 2 months off, I definitely had to go back and watch the prior show to kind of refresh, like, okay, where are we at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything.
Well, what I can tell you is that May 12th, SHW 50 is going to be awesome.
Going down.
Don't you love it when I wrap up and then I start talking again and we end up talking for another 10 minutes? I tend to do that sometimes. I can't help it. Anyways, I am going to wrap it up officially this time. So we will see you folks next week. But until then, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestling.
Shall we?
Nailed it.